Hello and welcome, this is Melskiner, and we're back with some more BattleTech. And I believe it's time to move on to the priority mission ahead of us. So we have some things to do to prepare for that. First, let's do some repairs here. These are of backup mechs, so it's not going to take long to repair them. And we do have travel time ahead of us, so they should all be done by the time we get there, but they're not frontline mechs anyway, so it doesn't necessarily matter too much. We do have a couple pilots out due to injury, but again, we have travel time, so I believe Decker would be better by the time we get there. Behemoth may not, but she's a backup pilot, so we can do without her. With that all being said, I do have a decision to make here with our current support mech. So the Auger mech is our current frontline support mech, but we also just acquired a catapult. And I quite like catapults, but they're the same tonnage, and it's really going to come down to trading one attribute for another. So in the case of the Auger mech, it's going to be stronger firepower. We have an AC5 on top of the two LRM-15s, so the catapult will only have two LRM-15s. Now it has a stronger close-range firepower with more medium lasers. That's not going to matter as much for a support mech. Now what the catapult gains is, I believe, armor. So we have 640 here. And this bar is a lot lower, but yeah, 800. The structure is the same, so why is the bar so different? I believe the structure is the same. Yeah, 521. Oh, you know what I bet it is? It's probably this gyro, because it gives me the damage, the stability damage reduction. That is listed here in this stat. Yeah, I bet you that's what's changes bar. So just like the heat bank, these special systems apparently affect your various bars very heavily, despite the fact that this isn't really making my mech all that much more durable. So it's not really representing things. I'm really glad we have the actual stats being given to us now so that we can better compare things, because these bars, I just think oftentimes are not a good representation of the comparison. But in any case, so we have stronger armor, but the other thing that we have is better maneuverability. We have jump jets, and this actually is pretty important in both regards for support mech. The armor, you may argue, well, what's the importance of that for support mech, because it shouldn't be on the front line. But we do find times where our Auger mech has been caught out. Either the enemy has used sensor lock to be able to hit the Auger mech from range with LRMs or what have you, or in certain missions, like the one where we had to fight the drones and the drones were constantly spawning in, the Auger mech ended up getting caught by the drones and taking quite a bit of damage. So those are situations that I really don't want to see as much. So having more armor gives us the ability to absorb more damage, but having the maneuverability allows us to avoid those kind of circumstances. The Auger mech will not get caught out as much because we could move forward and rougher terrain faster, but also the key thing here is we can retreat better. Something that's really important for a support mech is sometimes you have to do a retreating fire. I've used this many times, and the problem with the Auger mech is it doesn't have a lot of movement. It's not bad for its weight, but it doesn't have a lot of movement, and to be able to retreat and face the enemy and fire, I can't really move that far with just walking distance. So with jump jets, though, you can jump your full distance and you can face any direction you want. So we can move further, and also I can cover more heavy terrain. So if there is a hill or mountain or whatever behind me and I have enough jump movement to clear it, I can jump in behind that particular piece of terrain and use it to block fire from my opponent and still be able to fire because I can face and face my enemy. So I think that's a really important asset. So we would be trading that maneuverability for the firepower that we have with the Auger mech, because with that AC5, we're able to hit more targets, we're able to apply more damage. And I do like that ability to apply a lot of damage. But I just think the maneuverability is important enough that I think I am going to do this change. So to do it, we're going to have to swap out some systems. So in this case, I'm going to be removing the LRM-15s and replacing them with generic ones. And I'm going to then replace the generic LRM-15s on the catapult for the upgraded ones. So that's what we're going to do to make it our new frontline mech. I'm also going to probably make some other modifications. Let's just go to missile. Get this over with. I could upgrade the catapult to take LRM-20s, but the difference in weight between an LRM-20 and an LRM-15 is pretty significant. It's 7 tons versus 10. So that's 6 tons total if I'm going to do 2 LRM-20s. So I'd have to remove a lot of stuff to be able to equip that. And I don't think I'm going to do that. You might do that in your own playthrough, and that's, you know, your own strategy or what have you. I tend for a strategy that's probably a little bit different than the typical. And I do realize that I think I make my arguments for why I do the certain things that I do. But I think that is the beauty of something like this with the refitting system and the way that BattleTech works in general, is you can use different strategies. Some of them can be viable if you work around them. I have no problem with people that make missile boats where they just have a bunch of LRMs in a support mech that has very little armor, and they do that kind of thing. That is a viable tactic. It's just one that I don't want to do because I like having mechs that are more jack of all trades, which, you know, you do trade some efficiency of damage for that kind of strategy. But for me, that's just my
logged and noted. Shouldn't be too hard.
My desire, or my preference, I should say. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go ahead and swap these out. So this is going to be easy enough. Go ahead and switch over so we're only looking at missile systems. So right arm, left arm doesn't really matter. In the catapult, it's a pretty symmetrical design. So just a matter of putting the 2 systems in there. Okay, now that we've done that, I think another thing we should probably change is reduction of the lasers that we have. With the nerf that they've done to medium lasers with the heat efficiency, this is not as heat efficient of a mech as it would have been before. And it's not as heat efficient as the Yager mech was, not only because we have jump jets, but also with the number of medium lasers we have, and if we fired all of our weapons at once, you know, we're not that heat efficient. But really, we're going to be firing the LRM-15s and only the LRM-15s in most circumstances. And with the heat that we generate with that, so we're 14 apiece. And how many heat sinks do we have? Okay, yeah, we'd be able to deal with that pretty well. And our jump heat's only 8. So yeah, we could be jumping and firing both of our LRM-15s every turn and not really have any issues. It's only when we fire the medium lasers on top of all of that that we're going to have those kind of issues. So with that in mind, let's take a look at getting some more ammo. I think that would help us. As I think, you know, a good baseline is having at least 2 things of LRM, or I'm sorry, 3 tons of LRM ammo if you're going to have 2 LRM-15. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'll put it in the left torso because our higher damage LRM-15's in the right torso, and I'd prefer to keep hold of that. So we're going to put the more risk on the left side. Okay, well, I think that's all the changes I'm going to make. So we are losing some damage, but we're gaining the maneuverability and the armor, which I both like. So we'll confirm that. Going to take 4 days to do, and we should make this a higher priority as it is a frontline mech as opposed to all these backup mechs. So in this case, we'll manage task. And we'll put that catapult closer to the top. We'll do the Battle Master first, then the catapult, then our other mechs. Again, I think we'll get all this done, though, before we arrive. It's interesting seeing a catapult all stripped out, though. I didn't expect the entire thing to be removed here, but that's kind of cool to see. And we're a little less symmetrical now with the medium lasers. Okay. I do like the way catapults look, though. It might be part of the reason I did the decision I did. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this contract now.
Pull up a chair.
So we're going to be liberating Etrom. I guess that's how you pronounce it, or Itrum, maybe. Proceed to Itrum, where you will assist the Restoration Army's efforts to liberate House Gallus. The enemy will be fighting from a position of relative isolation. To take advantage of this, we suggest a lance loadout built to maximize rapid damage dealing potential. I think we do pretty well with that. Heat management will also be essential. Further details will be provided upon your arrival. I think the only mech that will really struggle for us will be the Battlemaster, but I think we'll be alright. I've heard stories about Itrum Mouse. Half of the planet is supposed to be nice. The other half's a toxic, irradiated desert where sensors and communications don't work properly. Guess which half you'll be fighting on. Okay, so it's going to be a desert, so heat efficiency is going to be a little bit worse than normal. In that case, our catapult may struggle a little bit, but we still have more heat efficiency or heat sinking than we have heat generation. So we might be okay. We'll probably still build up heat though. 3 skulls, although I don't know if this is really accurate. So let's hit travel here. And off we go. I didn't pay attention to how many days, but we'll see very shortly how much our travel time is anyway. Okay, so travel time is going to be, well, unfortunately this whole thing happened. Can we spacebar this stuff? No? Alright, well, yeah, we're going to get there, and everything else is going to be taken care of, so. It wasn't really that far away, but it was far enough away that the pilots will be back, the mechs will be all worked on, so we're more or less good to go. Okay, the work orders are done. I don't really feel like I have anything else to work on, though, so we'll just continue here. Uh-oh. Well, that doesn't look good. When we get knocked down, another sleepless night finds you pacing the mech bay. Door opens and closes, and you discover that Behemoth, who should be hooked up to a half a dozen machines in the med bay, has entered the room. Without noticing you, she limps painfully down the row of mechs and stops. You realize she is staring up at the mech she was piloting when she received those injuries. Shuddering, half-stifled sob racks the mech warrior's body. Fist clenched as she fights back the darkness. Okay. Let's use our background, Career Soldier, as it's a special thing that we have. Share a personal story. That happened to me once. He spins around, visibly pained by the sudden movement. I was fighting for the Oregon Coalition back before everything went to hell. Pirate shot my mech out from under me, but put me in the infirmary for a month. I didn't know how good I had it back then. I wasn't in a hurry to get back out there, but I should have been. Put a hand on her shoulder. Remember that, Behemoth. You find something to fight for, something that matters. That's what is going to get you back on your feet, back in that mech. Fighting again. There's always a roll of the dice on how a mech warrior will come out of an injury like this. Time will tell. Behemoth has gained the following tags. Honest. Alright, well, that's cool. Let's take a look at that, actually, because I want to see what that does. So, under mech warriors. I also have probably leveling up to do. I don't know where we are as far as financials.
What's up, boss?
So that's going to be under service record. Honest. Pilot's trustworthy and honest. Alright, well, that's cool to have. I mean, you're not currently a frontline mech. You used to be. I say mech pilot. Let's take a look really quickly at where our timeline is, because, okay, yeah, the financial thing's going to happen 6 days after we arrive, so I think looking at our mech warriors and leveling them up is perfectly fine. So let's start with Glitch here. Glitch, you have a lot of experience to use, so we're going to be using that here. Going to reduce your indirect fire penalty even further, so that's nice. I'll go ahead and confirm that. We could also get your piloting skill up, which I don't really necessarily have a problem with. Sure.
Training confirmed, Commander.
Okay. Jalopy?
Receiving you.
Jalopy is also having the ability to do this. Now, Jalopy is going to more than likely pilot the catapult. Well, in this case, I think the tactics is the right one to take because we remove some minimum range. So let's go ahead and confirm that.
Training complete.
We could do a level of piloting. I'll go ahead with that.
Mech
Get
warrior
her out of that.
complete.
3 piloting skill. Okay. Decker would be our other one that we'd want to level up. At this point, it's between guts and gunnery skill, and we can only afford the guts, and I'm going to just pass on that then. And we have 3,400 experience points, which is not enough to really level anything up. So we got to level up our 2 support pilots, so that's good. Although we're not really using glitch in that role anymore. Okay, I will continue forward then. Okay, Decker's back. And now we've arrived. Okay, so we've arrived at the location. I'm going to say, well, I could say not yet, but at the moment, this is hostile territory, so the store is probably not going to be as good for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and proceed. I don't think I have any other things to do. The one thing I could have looked into that I didn't was installing a gyro in the catapult, which is something that I could have done. I'll have to think about that in the future, but I just now realize I forgot to do that. And we're going to be moving pilots around, so you are going to go over here. Matter of fact, this is probably... yeah, that is our support. Okay. So put it like that. And you need to go over there, and that goes away. Scout Hawk. One of these. There it is. Decker can come on back down. And the Battlemaster can come back. So we're more or less ready to go. I mean, our heat efficiency bar is fairly good on the Battlemaster, but we're going to be in a Martian biome. So it said desert, but I think the Martian biome is actually worse than desert. So heat efficiency could be concerning on this particular mission. But go ahead and deploy here. All right, we're ready to go, but let's go ahead and read through the objectives. Take advantage of Itram's sensor interference to approach Directorate units unseen. Eliminate Directorate mechs to secure resource storage silos. Act quickly to prevent the Directorate from sabotaging the silos. Okay, so stealth is important, it looks like. Directorate has taken possession of Itram's largest processor and refinery. It's attempting to loot the attached silos of rare and valuable minerals. We want you to claim them for restoration instead. I thought we were supposed to be rescuing that lady from prison. Alright. Stuff that they mine on Itram is worth a small fortune on the black market. Better to have it in our hands than the Directorate's. Okay.
Command interface initiated.
Welcome to the Badlands of Itram, Commander. The sands of this desert are rich in exotic elements that play havoc with electronic sensors and communications. Without the use of House Gallus' signal boosting equipment, you wouldn't even be receiving this message. Badlands are a gold mine of rare earth metals and fissile materials. The Directorate has seized control of House Gallus' largest processor and refinery, and they're getting ready to move a year's supply of exotic materials off-world. Need you to capture at least one of those silos for the restoration. Use your target, engage its defenders, and destroy them. Our recovery team will take care of the rest. You'll need to act quickly, though. The Director will wire the silos to self-destruct if you give them the chance. Same radiation that's garbling the Directorate's long-range communications will render their sensors useless. You can detect them, but they won't even know you're there until you enter their direct line of sight. Silos won't be able to communicate with each other. Because of this, I'd advise you engage the silos one at a time. Use a target and clear it of defenders before moving on to the next. Careful, you'll be able to hit all 3 silos one after another, and the Directorate's troops will be none the wiser.
While capturing one working silo is your primary objective, we can always use more. The restoration will pay an additional bounty for each silo you capture beyond the first. Good hunting, Commander.
Alright, so we get a bonus for that, but it's not required. Okay. Well, let's get a lay of the land. It's very dusty, so it's kind of hard to see where we're supposed to go, but it looks like this is the first one. And it looks like we have a direct route. If we walk along this pipeline here, we would eventually get to it. That might be where they're looking, though. So using jump jets to either jump up here or going along this way and then jumping up here along this way might be a way to get in there without them seeing me. I would think that going this way, going off to the left here, would be the way that we'd get there closer without them noticing me. And at this stage, all of my mechs should have jump jets. So we should be able to pull this off. Let's go ahead and sprint over this way. I don't think we're going to get... I don't actually know if we'll get sensor contacts on this mission. It's sounded like we would, but it was not particularly clear, so I guess we'll just find out as we go. Alright. The best way to find out is just move forward,
On my way.
see what happens. But I'm going to possibly just right now have the assumption that we won't be able to see anyone on the sensor, so we're just going to have to make our approach not really knowing where the enemy is going to be. But maybe I'm incorrect in that thought. Get further if I jump. Sure looks like we can. And this is where the catapult is going to come in handy to dealing with heavier terrain. Guess we can go ahead and brace. And the same may be true with you as well. Sure looks like I can get further.
No sweat.
So how are our heat sinks being affected? 75%. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, it's not ideal. Now here, we should be able to sprint further, so... Matter of fact, in a Battle Master, it's kind of surprising how far I can sprint. But yeah, we can see. That's probably the piloting skill coming in.
Moving to position.
Let's see, pressing spacebar. It's just a press, it's not a hold, as we did kind of skip there. Okay. The sensors do work.
Oh, it's on now.
So according to what they said, they won't react to me until they see me. So let's just reserve down, just as a precaution.
Right opportunity.
Doesn't seem like they're doing anything, but you know, just be on the safe side.
Waiting for my opening.
In case we accidentally blunder into them or something, we'll have more time to get everybody going and reacting to. Gives them less time to do what they want to do.
Orders?
Okay, at this point, I probably do need to jump. Oh no, sprinting will get me where I want to go. Okay, so as I thought, I might not want to jump too because they may see me briefly when I jump in the air. So I'm going to try and avoid jumping where they may be able to see me until I'm ready to hit them. I'm also not going to sensor lock them until I'm ready to hit them. So I'm going to get nice and close. Go here first. Sprint. So I get now why they wanted me to have a lot of raw damage potential. Because we're supposed to hit these guys as hard as we can, as fast as we can. Well, I think we can pull that off.
Good to go.
Alright, well, I might be alright to jump here, because I don't think they'd see me from this distance. So the question is, can we sprint or jump further? It looks like I'm sprinting further, so we'll go with that. And then finally, Philippi.
Receiving you.
And again, sprint. Get further along.
Hauling ass.
But I'm going to be patient here. I'm going to take a little bit longer to move up. Wait for my allies, more or less. Again, I'm just going to reserve.
Roger that. Standing by.
I don't really know how the whole self-destruct thing works. I don't know if they have to physically attack the silo, or if it's just something that automatically happens after a turn or what have you of me not having killed all the defenders. So because I don't know, I think it's safer to just make the assumption that it might be at the end of the turn that destruction would happen. So I'm going to take it a little easier. But I've more or less, in my opinion, got the catapult into position.
Waiting on you, Commander.
I don't feel like I have the Highlander that strongly in position, as the likelihood we get a line of sight is pretty low, and that means we'd only be really getting the LRM 20 in on this one initially, so that's not getting as much damage as we could have.
Ready for orders.
And I don't see a time limit, so... Alright, so we would be able to walk up and get vision if I wanted that. But of course, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to move up very slightly. And I'm going to brace.
You're getting close, Commander. Be careful with your positioning. If they pick up a visual on you, they'll go on high alert, sensors or no sensors.
Okay, good to know. But let's be certain that our jump jets is going to take us where we want to be. I'm curious what that... Is that water that the one mech is standing in? I mean, it looks like a bunch of acidy, not so good stuff, but I mean, this mech's just standing in it, so... Okay. So, it's a matter of whether I want to wait another turn, because even with another turn, I might only be able to get, like, this far, and the jump jets might not be able to carry me where I need to be to get that direct line of sight, so I may just go ahead on this turn, because everybody else is more or less in position to do what I need them to do. So, let's reserve through. I suspect they will do guard. They'll have a guard up. Okay, so what do we got? We got some kind of vehicle there, and then we have 3 mechs. Okay, well, let's start with Decker here,
Standing by.
who should beat just about anybody initiative-wise, except for they do have this 25-ton mech. I want to get vision on everybody. I could jump and like get in behind this one mech, so that's what we're gonna go for. And then this will give me all the vision that I need, and then we'll go from there. Decide on what we're gonna do. I don't know if the enemy has been bracing or not. Okay, so Silo Alpha has detected your presence. Act quickly, Commander. If you give them enough time, they'll set the silo to self-destruct.
Alpha Lance, fall in on my position. I've got eyes on the enemy.
Okay, so they did indeed put their guard up, but I got in behind the commando, so I'll be able to hit this pretty hard. So we get, it looks like 5 turns, which is not bad. I think we could probably do this fairly fast. But let's see what we've got. We've got a Blackjack, we've got a Griffin, and I believe that's a variant, yeah, that has lasers instead of the PPC downgrade. And then we have an SRM carrier. Well, we're going to want to kill that fairly fast, but I think we hit the commander because we're in a good position to do so. I could also precision strike it and try and get a kill. We are full here. I think I go for it. So I'm going to precision strike, and I'm going to go entirely the center torso here, trying to get that kill. I think I missed with the AC-5. Unfortunate. But I may have gotten the kill there if I hadn't. Okay, well...
Good to go.
I'm gonna go after the SRM carrier.
Moving to position.
Because I can deal a lot of damage if I don't deal with it, so... I'm gonna hit this with everything.
Confirmed.
It's probably more than I need to hit it with, but... I want to be sure it's dead. There it goes.
Reporting. Enemy vehicle eliminated.
Okay. So that's one enemy down. A few more to go.
Waiting for orders.
This one... I think we move with the Battlemaster first. Trying to see if I can get in the rear of anybody, but it doesn't look like I can. I do want to be in a position where I could walk down if I wanted to later, but I don't know if I can actually do that with any of my targeting opportunities here. So I'm just going to jump nice and close.
Engaging.
I will use Vigilance just to give me that initiative boost. Granted, honestly, that doesn't matter because all these guys are going to beat me to initiative anyway. So you know what, I won't. But I think I'll use Precision Strike here. And I think I'm going to go after the Blackjack. And we'll go after the right torso with an attempt to reduce its firepower. Okay.
I hear ya.
So I'm going to go ahead and we might as well jump. Matter of fact, I can get more vision if I jump. I'm going to go ahead and do that. In this case, I may use Vigilance, so we have some good defense. Okay, Vigilance. Confirm. Alright, I'm going to do multi-target here. And I'm going to hit the Blackjack with one, and I'll hit the Commando with the other. So... oh, you know what? Say that. Do this a little bit differently. You're going to be A. You're going to be B. You're going to be everything else. Okay, let's fire away.
Got it.
Fortunately, all of our damage was done to the rear, so not helping us too much there. Okay, damage. Fortunately to the leg, but... Okay. So I can hit the rear of the
Waiting for orders.
Commando again if I want to. And if I did that, the likelihood the Commander would go down is pretty good. I would be a little bit of a sitting duck, though. I don't really like that so much. I'm going to go with this over here. I'm going to jump, I get evasion, and I get cover. And we'll just have to hit... I think I'm going to hit the Blackjack again. The likelihood we might be able to reduce its
Jumping.
firepower is decent because we're continuing to hit that one side. We are building up quite a bit of heat, but I think we'll be alright to fire all of our weapons here again.
Roger.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Critical hit, Commander.
Now, obviously, the enemy mechs are not going to want to stand in this explosion radius. Not unless they want to commit suicide. Didn't hit which much. Fine.
Damage is minor, Commander.
And the Griffin didn't do anything, which is... Okay, well, I think in this case... we split some fire here with the catapult. So you are going to be A, because we're going to continue to hit the same side. And B, we'll go after the Griffin. And we'll do the lower damage against the Griffin.
Affirmative.
Now the Blackjack will be going here after that. Okay, went after me, but missed. Okay, so now it's Glitch's turn.
What can I do for you?
Glitch should be able to do some pretty good things here. I think we multi-target. So you're going to be A, you're going to be B, and you're going to be C. And I don't even really have to pick what the weapons are going to be firing at. And we are running pretty hot with this, but all this damage, we may even be able to knock down the Griffin here.
No problem. I've got enough guns for everyone.
Okay, the commando is just dead. We did get the knockdown. And I think that the Blackjack, well, the Blackjack's taken pretty good damage, but I think that the Griffin is now kind of a sitting duck. So if we jump, this does count as water, and I should probably get in it, because that would be nice. So I think I'm going to take a bit of a risk here, in that I'm going to jump and possibly give my back to the Blackjack, but I don't think I'm that worried about what the Blackjack's going to do to me. But I am worried about killing this Griffin, which I'm fairly certain we'll be able to do if we focus on it. As it's already taken some damage to the center torso, and if we fire everything we've got, we can deal with the heat fine. We should be able to get a kill, I think.
All weapons committed.
Or at least do heavy damage. I'm not sure how much of that actually hit the center torso, though.
Damage detected. Warning. Heat exceeding recommended level.
Alright, well, we're back to the top of the order, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in the video here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mercenary, signing out.